a swimmer. I'm a swimmer? Oh, no. I was like, wow, that's cool. Like, I've done something.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 68 of the On the Runs podcast. That is right, 68 this time. I got it wrong last time. I am coming to you from my living room without Erica, and I brought back a fan favorite from a few episodes ago, Miss Adeline. Adeline, how are you?
I'm good. And my dad actually let me come on for the intro just for one simple reason.
That's right.
Say?
Yeah, well, you are my presenting sponsor for today's bonus episode this week. Because we have on, it's our second drop this week, we have on my friend Sarah, who came on for OTR Live. And because Erica can't come to record tonight, guess what Erica's doing tonight?
What?
She's seeing the Barbie movie. So she's preparing for her big race this weekend by going to see the Barbie movie because she's going to dress up like Barbie during her race.
So cool. I'm so jealous even though I already got to saw it.
You already saw the Barbie movie? That's right. Yeah. Did you like it?
I loved it.
All right. Let's tell them, though, why are you my presenting sponsor?
Well, but before that, do you want to tell everyone of your listeners, how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing this about a year and a half now.
Cool.
A year and a half, and I'm close to 12,000 downloads. I'm pretty happy about that.
So excited. Maybe when you get to 1 million videos, you should set up a little party and make a little video about it.
I love that. That would be so much fun. That would be a blast.
Yep.
We'll have a party maybe at 100,000.
Yes.
100,000 downloads, we'll have a party.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, Adeline. So because you are my presenting sponsor, let's tell everybody why. You are selling these calendars, these little raffle ticket calendars, and everyone, if someone buys one, they can win a prize?
Yep.
What kind of prizes? Like cash, Amazon gift cards, Dunkin' Donuts, Chipotle?
Yes.
Oh, Chipotle all day long, please. So you and Mom have a deal. Every calendar you sell, you're going to do 10 push-ups?
Yep.
Okay. I want to do something for you and me then. How about every calendar that I sell and that listeners of the pod buy, you'll do 10 squats. So you'll do push-ups for Mom and squats for me. How about that?
Sure. So my team, like my dad said, is selling some raffle tickets, and my team's Manchester's Cobras, and you listening to this podcast might be able to get one. So come and get some right now or sometime soon.
That's right. If you're interested in buying one of these raffle tickets for Adeline and her cheer team, let me know. Slide into the DMs and the messages. And the Manchester East Cobras even has a Venmo. So you can just Venmo them and I can write down your name on the raffle ticket for you. I'll send you a picture as proof. So thank you for being my presenting sponsor, Adeline, for this bonus episode with Sarah Hallock. So let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah just did her first triathlon. She did her first triathlon, just like the ones I do, and Uncle Scott and all our other triathlon friends. She came on the podcast to tell us all about it. She didn't listen, though. We said 30 minutes. We're going to be live on YouTube for 30 minutes. But she didn't listen to us about 30 minutes. She just kept going and going and told us this amazing epic story that took almost an hour and a half. So we're like, let's just give her own episode. We'll call it episode 68. What do you think about that?
Yes.
Let's get to our OTR Live edition of Sarah Hallock and her first triathlon.
Let's go.
We made it, friends.
Oh,
Third
boy.
time's a charm.
This technology crap is
No,
just
I gotta keep resetting the
crap.
password code on
But
YouTube.
you already did it.
I know, but then we left the room and I had to do it again.
Yikes.
So we're live. I'm gonna keep it live on my phone so I can maybe
Turn the-
see anyone in the live chat. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I don't care. We're live with Sarah Hallock back. If anyone remembers episode 8, we had you on, and that was like we were new and fresh, and you were like, "Sure, I'll do it," and it was so much fun. And you told us about Philadelphia and Boston, and we are now at episode, what, tomorrow is going to be 66. It's been almost 50 episodes since we had you on as our second ever guest, and it was like, please come on, we're practicing.
I was so happy to. You guys were huge in helping me get my goals accomplished for my fundraising and all that. So that was awesome. I'm still so thankful for that.
We just love you so much.
So let's talk OTR Live, as we've been trying to tell people. The identity of OTR Live is when someone, a friend of the pod, does something pretty amazing.
Hashtag pod fam. Mm-hmm.
We want to talk to them and hear about it. A lot of times, maybe you'll be on the pod and you'll say, I'm going to run a race. Like the perfect example would have been Ron Kuzmar. Instead of a second episode, a quick OTR Live catch up. How was the race? So you just did your first triathlon. Tell us where it was. And tell us the details. Don't get into the race yet. Just tell us like why you want to do this and what you were doing to prepare and maybe who talked you into it. Not just me.
It wasn't me. I just was like, yes, go do it if you want to.
Everyone. I mean, I would hear all these stories on all these episodes. Half of your guests, I feel, at this point have done tries. And then you would talk about it, and you've been sort of like poking me about it a little bit. And then Mike did his first one last year. Pseudo kind of hated it.
Oh, wait. Who hated it?
What?
He hated it,
He
right?
hated it?
Yeah.
He didn't hate it. He hated the swim. And I don't know. But that's okay. And I don't know. I just felt like, try something different. I'm going to give something different a go. But I did a lot of thinking about it and a lot of like putting it off and saying maybe no thank you. And then a lot of no, maybe I will. And then a lot of maybe no thank you again. And then finally I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to sign up for one. And I didn't realize when I was signing up for the actual event that meant that I then had to go and sign up for USAT and have like a day pass and all that. I was like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this isn't for me. I think I'm out.
I didn't realize how much actually has to go into it because not only do you have to train for that, but there are those extra steps, just like getting your card and whether it's temporary or he bought like the 3-year pass. Like, that's a lot of extra like money and time that you have to spend like figuring it out. So good for you, Sarah. Just good for you. Like the ambition to even just do one, you have that over me.
And breaking news, Patrick Lever says it's working. So we are live.
Hi, Patrick.
What's up,
fun.
Hi, Patrick. Erica, I'm telling you, you could do this. This is totally something that you would be capable of doing. Like, no, stop. I have absolutely zero question in my mind whether or not you can do this.
Thank you, my friend. See, this is why you're so wonderful.
I'm honest. You can do it. But I finally got through the whole registration process, even though it pseudo had me questioning whether or not I should actually do it. But I got the temporary card or whatever, and I signed up for the event itself. And, I sort of kept it as like a, if you know, kind of a thing. I didn't really feel like I wanted to go out and announce it to the world because I was really uncertain about how this was all going to go or if I was even going to make it to the start or any of that. So I was kind of like, there are going to be a select few people that I inform of this endeavor.
I actually feel the same way right now about my triathlon. And I'm like, people know I signed up, but I'm not ready. And I don't even know if I can make it work with kids. And I'm like, do I talk about it? I'm in the same boat. I signed up thinking, if I sign up, I'll do it. And I still believe I'll do it. But I'm like, something's going to pop up like, oh, cheer camp.
Oh,
You know, like
Yeah.
this weekend was all cheer camp. So I'm a little scared. So I'm not like out there posting about it. But people who listen, they know.
well, I am very honored.
Yeah,
to be in your
if you know,
circle.
you know.
Like, thank you for letting us in on your secret.
I was happy
So
to. There were a few other people that I told. I obviously told
Mhm.
Mike. He kind of knew of the mental dilemma that I was going through as I was going back and forth about signing up for it. And he was also kind of just like, just do it. Like, what are you doing? Just sign up. You're being ridiculous. And I told my cousin Kate.
Yes.
And
You know who Kate is?
I don't know who Kate is.
Tell her who Kate is. I follow Kate, and if Kate is listening, and her wife is Tiffany.
Tiff. Now, Kate has actually been texting me the past like couple minutes, so I don't know if you can hear the ding, but every time it dings, it's been Kate. So I'm actually not sure if she's listening. She's also an hour behind us because she's in Texas.
That's right. But if she's listening, hey, Kate, Tiff, one day on the pod, let's talk about you girls and what you're doing. And you're going to Finland, and that's so cool.
They're doing cool stuff.
They actually have a really good YouTube channel. I've been watching, and like, because I'm trying to make ours better, I'm like,
all right.
I want to get to this level on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, you can film me in on them later.
Well, they do
sooner.
triathlons, and I'm
Okay.
sure they probably gave you a lot of tips and advice going in. Probably more and better than I did.
Oh my goodness. So when I messaged Kate and told her that I had signed up, I think it was the next day, I was like, so I did a thing, and I sent her the screenshot of my registration, and she was like, oh my God, this is the best news I've heard all day. I'm so happy. I can't wait to follow your like training, and you have to, keep me updated. And so I did. And that was actually really cool though, because it sort of, I don't know, it gave me like a, okay, like she has faith in me, like I can do this. So, yeah, no, it was kind of nice to see how excited she got about just me even registering for the event. So that was really cool.
After I did my first triathlon, I always said, anyone can do this. They just have to try.
But
Erica, it's true though.
I do believe you. It's just, am I motivated enough to do it? I'm sticking to my running for at least this year. I'll keep it on the back burner.
Is Erica Hamill motivated enough?
See, the swimming and the biking part. That's 2/3 of a try that I'm like iffy on. So we'll see.
No.
I do love you for believing in me though.
100%. Absolutely. So I signed up.
Let's hear about how your training went and stuff. I'm excited to hear like how did it go?
Well, so I signed up and I didn't really do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of like, yeah, I'll train eventually.
Right. That's right. That's
what?
where I am right now with mine. I'm like, I got to start this Monday. We just had someone on the pod saying, yeah, we're always going to start on Monday. And then.
So how long in between?
Yeah, but you've done them.
I know.
How long in between signups and race day did you have?
I don't remember.
Give yourself
at all.
a couple of
not
months
even a
at
little
least,
bit.
or
at least. Oh, yeah, at least. I would say, oh gosh, when did I sign up? Like May? Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't remember.
60 days.
So I signed up and I sort of delayed starting any sort of training. My running has been slacking lately. I'm going to be real honest. I've been telling the world about how the fact my running has been kind of abysmal. And signing up for this didn't really jumpstart it, if I'm being perfectly honest. And so I just kind of kept not really doing a whole lot with it. And finally, I don't know. Like I was still doing some running, but not like what I should have been doing. Regardless of being signed up for a try, I wasn't doing as much running as I should have been doing. I still had never dipped my toe in a lap pool, never once. And I mean, I would ride my bike every once in a while, but not as like a training regimen or anything like that. So I don't know when I finally started, but like every once in a while, Mike and I would go out for a bike ride, and every once in a while I would go out for like a garbage run. And then I think it was when Mike was doing his trek across Maine, which was super cool, by the way. That was awesome. But when he was doing that, first let me say I have borrowed a wetsuit from my friend Suzanne, and she let me use it, and I had no idea. I think I got home and texted you, Eric, and I was like, I can't put my arms down.
Oh, no.
Like, this is not
You
okay.
said like the boy from the Christmas story.
That's exactly how I felt. But I got a lot of reassurances that that's normal, and you just have to kind of like work it out and whatnot. And then all of a sudden I look at this thing and I realize there's still a tag on this. So I sent her a text message. I was like, Suzanne, have you even used this? And she said, no, I bought it after my first one 2 years ago and I haven't done one since. So
Oh, no.
good luck. So now I'm thinking even worse, like, oh my gosh, if I tear this thing, if I damage this thing, oh my God, it's brand new. But whatever. So I had at least tried it on, but I still had not been in a pool. I had still not done any swimming in a lake or anything like that. But now I was going up to watch and sort of support and Sherpa for Mike as he was doing his trek across Maine. And we had a campsite where the event started. And I was like, oh, you know what? Perfect. We have this campsite, and I'm going to put on the wetsuit, and I'm going to go into the water that's there. I'm going to get some open water swimming in, even though I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm going to do that. This is going to be where it all begins. It didn't work out so great because I got down to the beach at the campground, and every time we got there, the tide was out. And so there were just like people clamming in the sand. And I was like, well, I can't swim in that. Like, that's not going to work.
Funny.
So my friend Kim, who you've
Yes,
both
we
met,
met Kim at the gallop.
yes. So Kim was like, no, Sarah, you're swimming this weekend. I don't care what you have to do. You are putting that wetsuit on and you are getting in some water. So we are going to Google a beach and we are going to drive there and we are going to get you in the water. So start Googling. So we Google some beaches and we get in the car and we drive to this, whatever, I don't even remember what beach it was, but it was somewhere in Maine. It was the ocean. We get down there. I take Eric's advice. I put some I put some grocery bags on my feet and I start pulling this wetsuit on. And there's other people that are like milling about, doing a random, like, playing around in the water at the ocean and whatnot. And so she's like, okay, friend, you got to get in. So in I go, and I had shit for a clue as to what I was doing. So I am just like, ah! And I come back like a minute later and I'm like, how far have I gone? And Kim's like, friend, you haven't done very much. And I was like, well, I feel like I've done a lot. She's like, no. So back in I go. And I carry on doing some more frantic swimming, and I'm doing some what I am calling freestyle, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. So then I start doing like, some backstroke, and then I'm like, this isn't really working out well for me either. I mean, I was an absolute mess. It was a disaster. But I stayed in the water and I kept going and I kept going. And finally I come back and she's like, friend, I want you to go back out there. She's like, and I want you to think of something. She's like, you may be doing a sprint triathlon, but this is not a sprint. Like, you have to think of this like a marathon. Slow yourself down, calm yourself down, and get back out there and just nice and easy. And I said, I can do that. Okay. So back in the water, and I just nice and slow, and I just go and I go and I go and I go. And now, mind you, it's pouring because this weekend, the entire weekend, it is pouring. And so I'm just going and I'm going and it's the ocean. So I don't really hear a whole lot else. And so all of a sudden I look up and I'm like, wow, I've actually like covered some ground here. I'm going to start making my way back. So I turn around and I'm just going and I'm going. I'm like, all right, maybe this is something I can do. And I get back and I get out of the water and Kim's like, good, let's go. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are you so excited? She's like, have you not heard all the thunder? Have you not seen the lightning strikes? You're busy out there swimming to Ellis Island, and we're in the middle of a goddamn thunder and lightning storm. We gotta go.
So you literally had no clue. I mean, I get it. You can't, you're busy like in the water. You can't hear. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kim must
No
have been
clue.
like, all right, and time now.
But
Here
you
we
felt
go.
Great.
Kim's freaking out. She's not really though, because she stays very calm in her like she's like a very calm, like grounded person. And so she's just like, all right, well, we might die today, but hey, here we are. Sarah's training for her try, so we're doing it. So I finally get back, and like she's like, all right, let's back up to the car. So I'm ripping the wetsuit off, we're running back up to the car, and we're safe and sound. And the whole rest of the night was just like a torrential downpour. We made it through the first night in the tent at the campsite, but the next night was not so lucky because our tent sprung a leak. So now all of a sudden we had to abandon ship, and we got a hotel room, and we went there, and hey, what do you know? This hotel has a pool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get some swim time in the pool. This is fantastic. So I got some swim time in the pool, but I had no
Was
idea
it like a lap?
length of the
There's
pool.
a pool for laps? No.
No, of course it's not. There's families splashing around, and there I am, like,
Committed.
so, I need to veer over this way, and then
That's
maybe back
actually
this
good
way.
practice. That's what I was just thinking.
But I had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how long the pool was. I just told my watch, like, yeah, sure, 25 yards, okay. Yeah, that pool was not 25 yards, I promise you. So I get through. Those are my first two swims. My first swim is an open water swim in the ocean with thunder and lightning and Ellis Island in the background. Obviously not really. And then my second swim is like a bunch of families swimming in a pool, and I'm sitting there trying to do like laps, not really working out great. And yeah, that was when I finally said, okay, well, I gotta start doing this. I gotta keep doing this. And I, continued to work on going to the pool at home at the Y, which is actually a 25-yard pool, and get some actual lap training.
Because when you were talking to me about open water swimming like a couple weeks ago, going to Bear Brook, I think it was, you said you really were enjoying swimming.
I dreaded going to the pool initially. Like, okay, so there was the night where I went into the pool at the hotel, but like I was not confident. I mean, you could hear from Mike's rendition of like me wanting to go. I was making excuses left and right, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go to that pool because of that, and maybe I'll look at this pool. And I was so hesitant. I was so afraid of it. I was afraid of other people seeing me swim in the pool because I really didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I had my frantic swim going on in the ocean. I'm thinking like people are going to look at me doing my frantic swim, and they're going to be like, this girl's problem. Mm-hmm. So I was really hesitant, and I was really, really like nervous about it. But I had to get over that. And so finally one day I was like, all right, this is it. I'm putting my stuff in my backpack. I'm throwing my backpack in the car. I'm going to the Y, and I'm going to swim. And I got there, and thank goodness there was a lane that was completely empty and available for me to have to myself. And I got in the water, and I started going, and I was like, oh, all right, I did it. And so I got out of the pool, and I was like, that wasn't so bad. That was all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do it again. And so the next day or a couple days later, I find myself back at the Y, getting my laps in, and I left the pool that day, and I was like, I kind of like this. Like, this is kind of relaxing. Like, I'm enjoying this. And so what do I start doing? But I start texting Kate. And also I'm texting like, the people who knew I was doing that. If you know, you knows. And I'm like, look at my swims. This is how it's going. And so Kate started like saying to me, like, look at you, that's a great swim. Like, oh, look, your next swim. Oh, look, you did better this time. Okay. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then Kim would say, okay, well, you've done the same thing a number of times. Like, maybe try to get some sprints in with your swim. Like, actually, I know I told you before, like, take it like a marathon, but maybe try like to, do some sprint workouts in the pool. Yeah. So I started going back to the pool more and more, and I was really, really enjoying it. And so then I had my hockey tournament up in Vermont. And so I got a tiny, tiny little 5-minute open water swim in Lake Champlain.
Nice.
It was literally like 5 minutes long, but it was nice. It was just like, okay, like I'm in the water. I'm in the open water. So I'm
Still
gonna,
counts. Still counts.
yeah. Yeah. And then let's see. Then there was the day that I took it over to Bear Brook, and I don't know that I'll go there again.
I don't. Why?
So Mike had told me a whole bunch of times, like it kept saying like, oh, I'm going to go to Bear Brook. Like, what about Bear Brook for me doing an open water swim? And he kept saying like, I don't know if it's the right space, because he's brought the kids there before. He said, I don't know if it's the right space. Like it's roped off in a certain area, and it's not a very big roped off area. So I don't know how much you'll really gain from doing an open water swim there. And so I kept saying, okay, fine. Well, I need to find somewhere else then. I need to find somewhere else. And so I kept avoiding Bear Brook. But then it got to be like, what, a week before. And I was like, I know he keeps saying that, but worst case scenario, this is what's going to happen. Bear Brook is only like 3 miles from our house. So I said, worst case scenario, I'm going to put all my swim stuff into, like, AKA cap, goggles, wetsuit, whatever, into my backpack. I'm going to put my tri-suit on that came in the mail like a couple of days before. I'm going to put the tri-suit on. I'm going to get my helmet. I'm going to get my cycling glasses. And I'm going to go for a little bike ride, the 3 miles, over to Bear Brook. And I'm going to get there. And if it's a useless area to actually get, like, open water swimming in, at the very worst, I'm going to put that wetsuit on. I'm going to jump in the water. I'm going to splash around a little bit. And then I'm going to get back out of the water. And then I'm going to take the wetsuit back off. And I'm going to put my helmet back on. And then I'll at least have the experience of going through, like, transition mode from swim to bike. And then I'll bike back home. It could be a disaster, but at least I'll have, like, gone through the motions of swim to bike.
Yeah.
So I get into the entrance for Bear Brook. And I see the lady at the, like, little toll booth for, like, paying for your entry fee and whatnot. And I asked her, I was like, hey, so can I ask you a question? If I go down to the beach, like, is it a good spot I can, like, throw my wetsuit on and, like, get some swimming in? She's like, oh, yeah, sure. And I said, okay, well, I heard it's, like, kind of a small area. She's like, well, you're an adult. And, are you confident in your swimming? I was like, fairly. And she said, okay, well, yeah, you're fine. You don't have to stay in the roped off area. That's really more for, like, parents to just be aware of where their kids are. Oh, she said, there's no one over there right now. I'm not even, just carry on. You go off and you go do you. And I was like, okay, great. So I get over there, put my wetsuit on. I'm like, all right. And I go to zip it up. I've put this thing on before. And all of a sudden I go to zip it up. And I'm like, why is the zipper in the front right now?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to take a wetsuit off when it's on backwards?
I can't say that I do, so I feel for you though.
0 out of 10 on the recommendation scale. I thought at one point that I was going to have to cycle home in a wetsuit. I couldn't get out.
No.
A backwards wetsuit.
I am having to take deep breaths and say, Sarah, relax.
Oh my God.
You can get out. I am sweating now. 1, because I'm anxious. 2, because I just biked here. And 3, because I am not certain that I can get out of this wetsuit. And so I am, like, trying to get it off of my shoulders. I'm trying the left and I'm trying the right. And then I'm trying both at the same time. I'm freaking out. I had to seriously tell myself, you need to calm down. And I had to take deep breaths. And I finally was able to get this wetsuit off. And then what did I do? Flipped it around the right way. Put those bags back on my feet. Jam my feet into the leg holes again. And now I have it on the right way. Zip it back up. And it's much easier to put on as well when it's facing the right way. For the record. So I zip it back up. And I'm looking at this water and I'm like, it's kind of dark.
Uh-oh.
Like, it's kind of murky. But that's okay.
Was there
I'm here
a
to
barrel
do
in the
this
bottom
thing.
of the lake.
No, there were no barrels. And I heard your last episode. I heard it, and you were talking about the barrels. Erica, I hope you've listened to that podcast. It's flipping fantastic.
I have not, but I know like the story, so I'm gonna have to do it.
No, I don't even care. You have to listen to the whole thing. Like, it's so
Bear
good. I've
Brook
listened to
Murders,
it twice.
guys. Look it up. The Bear Brook Murders podcast.
It's so good. It's so good. My coworkers, all my friends at CMC, hello, if you're listening, they all laughed at me when I told them the story about swimming at Bear Brook. They were like, "Was it murder juice?" And I was like, "No,
Murder juice."
but okay, but all right, fine. So whatever. I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's murky, it's dark, it's not pretty like I expected it to be, but hey, here we are. I came to do this thing. I went through getting the wetsuit off and back on. Like, I gotta get in that water. So I get in the water and I'm like, all right. Oh, it's gross on the feet. The feet are touching some weird things. It's very slimy. I'm not a fan, but you're here to do a thing.
I hate that too.
So I finally go, I finally just go in. I go for it. And I start swimming and I have the goggles on. So I everybody said, like, don't be surprised. You're not going to be able to see the bottom. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. I'm not expecting to be able to see the bottom, but I'm also not expecting my hands to be literally the color of my fingernails right now. Like, my skin was highlighter orange. It was
bad.
Strange. It was strange. So I go for the swim. I'm swimming around the pond, and all of a sudden I stop at one point and I look up, and a whole bunch of children were there for like a camp field trip. So now they're all standing there watching me, like from the pavilion. If you the Reach Beach Exchange, there's the pavilion there. A whole bunch of like campers are at their I just said the word field trip. They're all there for their field trip, and they're all staring like, "Whoa, she's swimming." So finally, I'm like, "All right, well, I'm done. I did what I needed to do. I have limited time anyway. I did what I needed to do. I'm going to go back. I'm going to take the wetsuit off, and I'm going to bike back home." And so I did. And I told Mike about it later on, and I was like, "Yeah, so the pond at Bear Brook, like, it was big enough. I was able to swim outside of the roped off area. It was kind of gross." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, it's disgusting." He was like, "I don't know that was a great plan for you." And I was like,
couldn't warn me. Thanks.
Why didn't you tell me that? So that's fine. Anyway, that was a day. I was also a little bit annoyed with my watch because I biked there. So on the Apple Watch, I don't think you both use Garmin's, I think.
Well, he's got something different now.
Oh, right. Well, anyway, so I've been using my Apple Watch for everything. And so I had seen that you could do multi-sport mode on the Apple Watch. So I was like, oh, great. And I had tried it a couple times doing the bricks. I would set it to be bike run, and it worked perfectly. I would go for the bike, and then I would come back and I'd get off the bike, I'd put the bike away, and then when I was putting the bike away, it would say I was in transition, and then I would go back out and I'd start running, and it always tracked it like perfectly. I was like, oh, this is great. You can also create your own little custom one. So that day that I'm riding my bike to Bear Brook, going for a swimmy swim, and then riding my bike back home,
Bike.
I set my own little custom one, and it was for bike, swim, bike. So I hit start, I bike there, I get off the bike, it acknowledged right away that I was in transition, but for whatever reason, it never acknowledged like that I had started swimming. Oh. So I started getting nervous. So then whatever, I got out of the water. I could not get it out of transition mode. And you're not supposed to even have to tell it. It's supposed to just know. And it wouldn't switch over to the swim, and it wouldn't switch over to the bike going back home. Mm-hmm. So when I got home, all I had to show for it was that I had biked there. And I was like, that's crummy. But so I started getting nervous that it wasn't going to track my actual event well. But I don't know. This is what I had. So I was like, that's what I'm going to use and hope for the best. Hopefully it was just because it was like a custom one that I had created, and the actual like triathlon one will work out better. So that was kind of my swim training, and that was good. I really, truly ended up enjoying it a lot. I still have only had minimal experience doing open water swimming, but my pool swimming has been, I've really been enjoying it. And it's kind of nice not knowing how to do something because all of a sudden you start doing it and every time you improve because you're starting at the
There you
bottom. And there's, I haven't plateaued yet. So it's like every time I go, my swims get a little bit better. So I have been really enjoying that. The biking was just kind of like, really uneventful. I will say that I enjoy biking a lot, but I didn't really feel like there was, swimming was the biggest outlier as far as something I've never done before and would take some getting used to.
And then the runs were just meh for you.
God, Erica, it's been so bad. I haven't even wanted to run.
It's been awful here. Like, it's just so hot and humid. And if it's not hot and humid, it's rainy and humid. We just haven't had any like nice days to enjoy being outside and running. So I get it.
I know, but then even like I would run and like truly, I was telling anyone, I was like, my run, I'm garbage running now. Like, I don't know what has happened. My paces have tanked. Like, everything is bad. Like, I don't feel good running. Like, this is just it's not been good. And so because it's not been good, I've just been putting it off more, and then it's getting worse, and it sort of spiraled a little bit. So I don't know. That was a struggle for me, and I never really expected that what I would have liked the least about my training would have been the running, but it kind of was. I kind of really enjoyed the swimming and the biking more than I did the running.
That's good though.
That's okay.
Because that means you're like, hey, I can do this, and I enjoyed the swimming and the biking. And like Dave McGilvery said, he thinks it extended his running career, his running life.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fair.
That was an epic first 30 minutes of swimming.
I'm sorry.
No, they're fun though. Yeah. Good stories.
This is our identity, as we talk about. It's storytelling. You just knocked it out of the park with some of those swimming stories about the thunder. And
are those like some Code Brown swim situations?
Absolutely.
I don't.
Yes.
Like, I wrote an email today. Your Code Brown doesn't need to be a Code Brown. It can just be like an oh shit moment or an oh crap. Can you believe I did this?
I know, and you've always said that. You've always said that, and I definitely have had some Code Brown, like not Code Brown, but Code Brown moments in my training.
Did you? Let me ask you this.
Those were some of them.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever fart in the wetsuit?
Okay, no, but I did dole out that advice like it was my job.
Passing it on.
All right, let's talk about Saturday. Yeah. Like, give us the pre-race. Were you excited? Nervous?
How were they?
I did get the text message though from the night before. Like, I'm so pumped up right now.
There you go.
Yeah. Talk about race day.
I had all of the emotions. I had the pumped up. I had the anxiety. I had everything. I was like, everybody kept asking me, like, are you ready? Are you ready? I was like, how the flip am I supposed to know if I'm ready? I've never done this before. Like, I don't know what to expect. So, I mean, I was all the emotions. I was excited. I was happy. I was freaking out. I was everything. I was absolutely everything. Like, I think I told you I was jacked up, and like, I just used jacked up to encompass all of the feels. I mean, because I literally everything. And that was one of my nerves too, though. Like, when we talk about Code Browns, like, I've had some scenarios, right? Like, I peed on my pants in Philly, and I've had some scenarios. And so all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I was listening to the Road to Kona finale, right? And here he is talking about, do I wear shorts or do I wear my tri-suit? And all of a sudden I was like, what if I have to? Oh no. I don't know that I want to wear the tri-suit anymore.
I just bought a tri-suit and I don't know if I want to wear it.
Because I have had a hard enough time, like, getting the wetsuit off when it was backwards, and all I can think is like, oh my God, this is going to be an absolute disaster.
I'm going...
Number 2.0.
You have no idea. You have no idea the feelings that when I heard that in that episode, I started to have regrets about about what I was planning to wear. spoiler alert, there was no issue, but I was very,
So
very
happy.
anxious about that. Yeah, you and I both. Sorry. So race day, yeah. So one of the other bits of advice that Kate had given me a couple days before was, she said, I really think, so the race was Saturday. I think it was Thursday. She said it was Thursday, like midday, afternoon, somewhere around there. She's like, I really think you should, if you have some sort of like electrolyte drink or some sort of sports drink or something, that you can start like almost like priming your body with now, so that you're, well on track for hydration for, race day. She's like, I think that that's a good thing for you to consider. So I was like, yeah, no, I mean, you've said it, it's gospel. Like I am in. So I go into my cabinet, I find like LMNT. It's like a salt
Yeah.
hydration. I mixed that into like my thing of water, and I just carried it around all day, and I was sipping on that like it was my job. And then on Friday, mixed together some more, and I was drinking that all day. And then I start thinking again, back to the whole tri-suit fiasco. I'm like, I'm drinking so much water, like I'm going to have to pee, and like this is going to be a disaster. So, okay, fine. I'm drinking the water. Everything's great. Saturday morning, we had to leave because Wolfboro is about an hour from here. Well, Friday, I picked up my bib packet, and I drove up there. It's an hour away, but I was like, it's worth it. I don't want to have to worry about that
I
in
did
the
the
morning.
same.
Right.
Yeah. So I drove up there Friday evening, ran into friends up there who were also doing it, and picked up everything. Came back home, and then, so Saturday morning, sorry, the cat's meowing again.
I
She's
love
screaming. She's like, why are you outside?
Amazing.
Erica had to go hide her cats earlier.
No, I had to feed them earlier because so around 4:30, if I'm home, they will just sit and meow. It's Maisie. And she has like her cute little thing. But then when it's food time, she gets like a kind of like meow. Like it's like a chirpy, like throaty meow. And she does it consistently until she's fed. So had to feed her early, just making sure she was out of the way. And now she's doing her like post-dinner nap. So we're all set.
Yeah. No, she's got plenty of food. This is literally just a, why are you outside and why
I can
can't I?
see you.
Because she's deaf.
Oh.
She's deaf. So if she were outside, she would not survive. She would not be long for this world. She's a brat. But, okay, so we had to leave early. We had to leave because the sprinters were supposed to start at 7:30. And so there was a pre-race meeting. I forget what time, 6:50, I think, because the Olympic distance started at 7. So there was a pre-race meeting, and like, you had to get your whole like bike spot set up and everything. So I wanted to be there, and Mike was fully agreeable to the fact that, I needed to be there at like 6:30 at the latest. So
it's okay.
She owns this place. So the animals are just wild. So yes.
So you got there early. Like,
oh yeah. So we had to leave at like 5:30 in the morning. So we left at 5:30, got there by 6:30. The place is buzzing. I found my spot where I'm supposed to hook my bike or rack my bike, and I start, taking everything out of the bag, setting up my little station, and lo and behold, I look up, and who do I see like down the road from me? I'm like, Nicole!
Yay! I'm so happy you got to see her.
I know you, and do you think that we took a picture?
No!
That's honestly the hardest thing to do, because I've missed out on so many pictures myself just because I get so caught up in the moment, and you're busy trying to get yourself ready. So just next time.
Yeah, definitely. So I see her, I go over, we chat for a few minutes, and I'm thinking, I don't know. I was very uncertain about everything. I was very excited, but I am the only one here who put the ankle bracelet on the right ankle. I'm looking around, and everybody else has it on the left ankle. That doesn't matter. And I know mentally that doesn't matter. Like in my head, I know it doesn't matter. But why am I the only one with it on my right ankle? Was that in the rules?
Oh no.
But it doesn't
Second
matter.
guessing.
It doesn't matter. I'm just like, yes, exactly. Everything. I'm just second guessing everything. And I'm like, getting all overworked up about everything, overthinking everything. And then I'm like, nope, Sarah, it's okay. It's okay. The water and the timers and all that doesn't care what side, what leg your little ankle bracelet's on. So not a big deal. And so, yeah, I just kind of finished setting up all my stuff. I got my wetsuit on, put it on the right way the first
Good
time.
job.
Pretty pleased with myself over that. And then I start like zipping it up, and Mike's on the other side of the transition area. He's like, I don't think you need to zip it up yet. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. So finally it was time to sort of everyone was making their way down to the beachfront area, and I brought my sandals that I was informed that I should bring. And I get down to the beachfront, and they send the Olympic distance swimmers off. Very exciting. Everybody cheers. And now I'm like, okay, that means we're kind of next. And I am in wave 3, which is the first wave for the sprint distance out of 3 sprint distance waves. That means that there's going to be people that are faster than me in the waves behind me, catching up to me and overtaking me and sinking me. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm all right. I'm going to make it. So it's now time for the sprint distance people to sort of gather into the water, the first wave. And so we go in, and I've got my swim cap on. I've got my goggles on. And I'm like, okay, this is good. My wetsuit's all zipped up. Everything's fine. And all of a sudden I look down, and we're like 30 seconds away from him starting everybody. And all of a sudden I look down. I still have my Crocs on my feet. So now I have to run back out of the water, fling my Crocs, like, I hope for the best, and run back into the water like, I'm ready. Here I am.
Spectator
No shoes
at
on my
local triathlon dies from flying croc.
Oh.
So 20 seconds later, he starts everybody, and off we go. We're swimming. And no, actually, that's not true. We're sort of waiting. We're running, right? And so Nicole looks at me. She's like, are we ready? Are we ready? And I was like, no, we're not diving in. I learned from last year that you bottom out if you dive in too soon. We're going to keep running. She's like, okay. And so we keep going, and everything's fine. And eventually we do dive in, and it's all good. And I tell you what, my arms got pretty tired pretty quick, because that wetsuit, it does keep you buoyant, but it makes it an awful lot harder to do that.
Oh yeah.
And so I kind of I got tired, but I did change strokes a couple times. I would switch and do the breaststroke for a little bit, and like kind of just would stop for a minute and be like, okay, take a breather. You've got this. It's fine. And then at one point, I'm as far out as I can get, and I'm starting to notice. I'm looking behind me, and I see exactly what I expected to see. The people in the waves behind are now starting to catch me, and that's when I start to have all the doubts. They all came flooding in. And I was like, maybe this was a mistake. I don't belong here. This is not what I should be doing. I didn't train enough, which is probably true. Because I didn't do enough open water swimming. And, what was I even thinking? And just all the negative thoughts, they just flooded in.
Mhm.
And I said, well, here's the problem, Sarah. You're as far out as you are going to be in the route of the swim course. So even if you were to give
You
up,
gotta get
you still have to swim
Yeah.
back. So it doesn't do me any good to give up. So carry on. And off I go. And I swim some more, and I just kept going. And every once in a while I'd take a little breather. And every once in a while I would like switch it up and do breaststroke for a couple minutes. And next thing you know, eventually, as everybody said would happen, all of a sudden you see that last like number of buoys that are just sort of directing you into the shore. And I was like,
I told you, I don't know if it was you or Nicole, but I said at some point you're going to be able to see the end of the swim, and then you're going to be like, I got it.
yeah. so you had said it, and I had seen it before in other places. Like Team Saunders Try had posted about it as well. So there was one day where they said, "Isn't it the best feeling when you can just like see that last stretch of the swim? Like, don't you just get this great feeling?" And I was like, "I'll let you know in a few weeks." And it's true. It's true. That really was like that's a great feeling. Because I don't know. As much as I've been liking the swim, that was hard.
You
But
did
doable, Erica. Doable.
You did it though.
This
you
is the best
actually
because
did it.
she has been thinking more and more, this is never going to happen. And I think you, Sarah, might talk her into it one day. You'll
If
just
anybody will do it, it's probably
you'll
going to
just
be
have
you.
to say, let's do it together.
Oh. That's probably what's
Yep.
going to do it, but not this year.
Yeah.
All right,
Not this year.
Yeah. Next year, you're in.
Like,
So now I'm out of the water, and it's across the beach is across the street from the Nick, which is where like the transition and the start / finish and all that was. Not really the start, I guess, right? Because the start's at the beach. But where the transitions and the finish and that was all at the Nick, and so the swim portion was at Albee Beach, and so it was kind of I think I heard it was a quarter of a mile jaunt to get from the beach exit or the water exit up to the actual transition area. So I find my Crocs, slap those babies back on my feet, and I start puttering along. And I said, I don't want, it's a hot day and I don't want to waste all my energy. So I kind of do like a jog walk and say, I really don't want to put everything out just jogging up this hill to get to the transition area. Like that's a wait. Like I know I should, but I'm not trying to win this thing. I just want to get through it. So I'm going to save my energy. So I get to the actual road. There's a police officer. He's like, "Hey, congratulations, swimmer. You only have 2/3 more to go." And I was like,
what a way to only
"Call me
2/3
a
left.
swimmer. I'm a swimmer."
Oh, I caught on to. Oh, I have 2/3 of this left. Okay.
Oh no. I was like, "Wow, that's cool. Like
Thanks, man.
I've done something." So I get across the street and I go up to the transition area and I find my bike right away. And, I take my wetsuit the rest of the way off. There were no strippers. But that's fine. So I take my wetsuit the rest of the way off. Everything's fine. I remembered. I remembered them very, very, very adamantly saying, "Do not take your bike down until you've clipped your helmet on your head." So the first thing I do is I take the helmet off and I put the helmet on my head and I clip it in and I'm like, now I can carry on. So I dry off my feetsies. I unfold my towel, which is kind of in dirt. And I'm like, well, that was kind of stupid. Like, I feel like I should have left a clean spot of the towel. So I unfold it a little bit, wipe off my feet, put my socks and my shoes on, put my little cycling glasses on. And I'm like, okay, got to get the bike. So I take the bike off the rack and I grab the cliff block shoes, and I had every intention of putting those into my back pocket. Do you think I did that right away?
Oh no.
I know.
No. So I have my water with the LMNT in my little water bottle holder cage thing, and I start walking my bike out with my bike to my left. Why am I walking out with my bike to my left? I don't know, because I never walk with my bike to my left. So all of a sudden I get out the exit and they say, "Okay, you can start to mount your bike." And I'm like, good, I'm on the wrong side. So I reorganize myself and I have now my bike on the right-hand side. And in that process, where did the shoes go? I don't know, but I am on that bike now. And so I carry on and all of a sudden I'm like, great. Oh, those are gone.
No.
They're gone. Now, because of all the rain that, as we've discussed, has happened lately, the course had to change a couple of days, like a week before the event. They had to reroute the bike route. And so instead of, I think it was originally supposed to, I forget if it was supposed to go 28, but it ended up being 109 or vice versa, whatever. But either way, they switched it around. And the best way to do the turnaround in a safe manner was there's a little circle in Ossipee. There's a little traffic circle. And so they wanted us to go all the way to that traffic circle. So for that to happen, instead of it being a 12-mile ride, it ended up being a 14.25-mile ride. And I was like,
Oh, that's quite the
okay.
increase.
Yeah. And now I don't have the shoes. Oh, well, it's fine. At least I still have my water. I'm still okay. And this is where questions start to come in. And I've asked Kate this as well. And I'm going to ask you because one of the things I got so like nerved up about is, aside from them telling us you can't take your bike off the rack until your helmet's clipped on, the other thing that they said they made a big deal about is the whole drafting thing. And they're saying, like, you can't have less than five bike lengths between you and the person in front of you. Now, again, what do I start thinking back to? I start thinking back to the road to Kona, and I hear him talking about drafting, and he's even saying, like, oh, I was going uphill. Drafting doesn't even matter when you're going uphill. Well, here I am going up this hill, and there's a girl in front of me, and I'm like, I could pass her. I know I can pass her. I have the confidence I can pass her. But can I pass the 2 or 3 other people that are also in front of her and keep the distance that I'm supposed to keep? I'm not trying to get a penalty here. I don't want to add 5 minutes to my time. Like, so there I sit. Like, I could be doing better right now, but I don't want to climb up this hill and like not, because they weren't that close, but they were far enough away I could have gotten in between them, but then there's not the 5 bike lengths. So I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Oh.
So I was like, is this what happens in a try? You just end up where you are and that's as good as it gets? Like,
that's a
I don't
huge
know.
question. I have no idea.
I just don't care about the rules. I just like, and Scott says draft when you can draft, and I'm like, if I get a penalty, all right, it's a little bit of a break. But I don't think any of us need to worry too much about it because I'm not qualifying for Kona. You're not qualifying for Kona yet. I think Kate probably does have to worry about it.
Right.
But I just go out there and ride. And if I can get by someone, I can get by someone. But I don't worry about the little things. It's a little thing to me. I think guys like Scott and Mark Dubrick and Kate and Tiff have to worry about it. Not me, not you, not Nicole, and not her when she does her first one.
Right. Well, and so I was, but I got too in my head about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to risk it. So I was like, I don't want to see that guy on a motorcycle come up and be like 192, blue card. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay here.
I would only worry about it after I get my first penalty, because is it 2 that you get DQ'd or is it 3? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like the guy,
I don't remember hearing.
I'd be like the guy in the Mighty Ducks. 2 minutes, well worth it.
Shut up, Tyson. Anyways.
So I continue on behind this group of people, and eventually like it spread out a little bit, and I felt confident about passing at that point. So I did eventually pass some people, but it was a little bit rough at one point because I was like, I know I can be going faster than this. Like, So it was nice because once we made that turnaround at the circle, at that point, we're halfway through the bike ride, and the crowd started to like, not that they were crowds, but like I don't know, it started to thin out. And so I did start to say, okay, well, there's one person in front of me, but there's nobody in front of them. So that's when I started taking opportunities to make some passes and whatnot. And there was Kate had looked at the elevation map for the new route, and she had said to me, well, just think, once you get past mile 8, it's literally like, it's pretty much downhill once you get past mile 8. And she's, for the most part, right. I mean, I saw the elevation map too, and I'm looking at it, and yeah, that's for the most part true. Eric.
Sorry.
I am going down some of these hills, and I mean, Erica, like, I am going down some of these hills. I feel like I should have been mic'd up because I am going down and I feel like I am hurtling down a hill. And I'm like, verbally, out loud, oh God, if somebody were to be passing me right now, they'd be hearing me say this, but I'm sitting, oh my God, I'm going too fast. I'm going too fast. I'm going to crash and die. This is when it happens. I'm going to fall and I am going to die. But do you see me putting the brakes on? Nope. I just keep on hurtling down the hill. Like, I don't even know how fast I'm going, but I'm going too fast. This is too fast. Oh my God. And so it was a little bit, but I also in that moment, and that's always been, I have yet to fall from the bike as an adult. And so I think like, I just see if I'm going this speed, whatever it may be, and I fall, it's just going to be a pile of bones. Pile of bones. There doesn't even have to be a car involved. I'm just going to be a pile of bones on the road. And these are the thoughts that go through my head when I'm out on the bike, and I love
What
being
a
out on the
story
bike.
that would be to tell on the pod, too.
I hope to never hear
I
that
just-
story from you. I hope that never happens.
No, and it won't, right? But like these are like the visions that go through. I love being on the bike. It's fun. It's exhilarating. Like you're just like you just roll. You just cruise along, and I love it. But then every once in a while, I'm like, but it's great. And so I got to the part where I'm like 12 miles in, and I'm like, well, if this had been a 12-mile race, I'd be done right now and I would be out for my run. But that's okay. I have 2 more miles. I see my friend Nancy. She's doing the Olympic distance, her first one.
Ooh, very nice. Go
Nice.
Good job,
Nancy.
Nancy. And so she's on her way out on the bike, and I see her, and I'm like, Nancy, like, yeah, you didn't drown. I'm so happy for you.
You didn't.
I tell
And
everyone.
because that's the first I had seen her, and that's the longest like swim she's ever
Mhm.
done. So I was like, hey, and so there I am. I continue pedaling along, and all of a sudden, literally the next thing you know, I see like an officer pointing to go in, and I was like, where did the last 2 miles go? I have no idea where they went. I blacked out. I don't know, but those 2 miles did not occur. So I turn in to the like entrance to the Nick, and I get in and I hear this lady say, "Oh, you can dismount your bike at the cones." And so I get off the bike and I run it in, and I see friends, and I'm like, "Hi, friends! Ah, this is great! Wow!" And so I go and I remount my bike onto the rack my bike or whatever, and I say, "Okay, I don't have clip-in pedals. I don't have clip-in shoes, so I don't have to change my shoes. I really kind of wanted to change my sunglasses. I really don't like running in the cycling glasses. It's probably a ridiculous thing, but I cared. So I took the cycling glasses off, took the helmet off, put the Gooders on, and redid the hair, and took the cycling gloves on, which I don't think I would wear again. I don't know that they did anything for me. And now I'm ready to go out for the run. And so off I go. And it's hot.
Oh boy.
It was hot.
Oh boy.
And it's sunny. Oh, and I did take more sips of water, by the way. I did do
Good
that.
to stay hydrated.
And so I didn't bring it with me, but I took some before I went off for my run.
Were there no aid
I'm
stations?
sorry, by the way. I'm like, God.
I'm
just
so
work on it.
excited to hear about this. Just go. Keep going. Keep going.
All right. So I have gotten back from this bike ride, and I am saying to myself, like, okay, I know I can finish a 5K. My running's been trash running lately, but I know that I can finish a 5K. So I know I'm going to get through this. So like I said, I head out for my run, and I start going. And the way the first part of the run course went, it finished on the track that's at the Nick, because the Nick is it's like a whole sports complex, right? And so there's an outdoor track there, which is where the finish of the race was. So to start the run, you had to run around like the outside, not the outside lane, but like around the outside of the track. Oh. So I start going, and I'm like, wow, there's not a lot of shade here. It's very warm, and it's toasty, and it's sunny, but that's okay. So I get around, like partway around, and all of a sudden, like I like readjust my bib belt, which I also put on in my transition, luckily. And I'm on my way, and I adjust it, and all of a sudden I hear the guy behind me go, "Damn it, I forgot my bib."
Oh no.
And I turn around and I could see him hesitating, like, do I stop? And we hadn't made it that far from the transition area, luckily,
Right.
but I could just see the uncertain, like, what do I do? And I was like, yeah, you don't want to forget your bib.
No.
And he's like, oh. And so he turned around and he went back and I was like, sorry, guy. And carried on again, but I am doing a very slow, like just plodding along. And so I'm running, and I get to the exit and I see friends. Friends! Hello, see me run? I'm running! And I exit the Nick and I'm like, I'm walking. It's too hot for this. So anyway, I do a walk run and I am just like, there are trees everywhere on either side of me. And the sun is straight ahead. So the trees don't do shit to give you any sort of coverage. And so I'm just like, damn it. So, all right, fine. I keep on going. Run, walk. And then I see the okay, got to turn onto this side street here. I see other people doing it. I turn onto the side street. There's still somehow, even though we're going there's still somehow no shade. But I'm like, okay, fine. Get back out onto the main road. And all of a sudden I see like, okay, there's some shade, intermittent. So I said, all right, I'm going to do run in the sun, walk in the shade, mostly just because I wanted to like enjoy the shady areas for longer. Yeah. And so I would do that. And then, let me backtrack a little bit. On the way out on the run, like very early on, there's a water table for people going out and coming in. And I take a water and I'm like, yeah, this is good. I'm going to start with this. That water must have been sitting, like I picked the cup that's been sitting there all morning because that was warm.
No.
And it was kind of gross. Ugh. So now I'm thinking, oh God, if all of the water is like this. So fine, whatever. I come back onto that main road and there's another water table and I take a water, much cooler. So I drink half of it. I dump the rest over my head and I keep on going. Run, walk. I made a friend at one point and he is like, yeah, but you've got some, like chatting for like a minute. And then he's like, you've got some running you. I don't, you go. And I was like, okay, fine. And I tell you what, the turnaround point, I didn't think was ever going to get there. I was like, nope, we're just going to keep running forever. There's not going to be a turnaround. This is a joke. Like, they're like, just kidding. You're just going to run across the world because there's no point where you're going to turn around. And then finally, I saw the turnaround and I was like, okay, this is good. And so I talked to the officer as I'm turning. He's like, you're doing great. And I was like, I feel. But okay. So I carry on back and I'm running back and just like happened on the bike and I'm still doing the like run in the sun, walk in the shade kind of mentality. And all of a sudden, and I didn't do a ton of looking at my watch, mostly because I didn't want to see what that disaster was going to say. But I know roughly a mile, I see Nancy coming back out again. I see her coming out on her first out because the Olympic distance people had to do like just 2 loops of the same thing. So I see her coming out and I'm like, is that Nancy? Nancy, you're doing great. And I'm like, oh God, I hope that's Nancy because I'm here all on.
Somebody's getting some cheers.
So it was, and I ran over and I gave her a hug and I told her she was doing great. And then I ran back over to my side and she's like, I'm going the right way. And I was like, you're going the right way. Keep on keeping on. And then I swear I felt like I still had forever to go. But again, just like on the bike, all of a sudden I see somebody directing, like, go this way. And I was like,
thank God.
I'm almost done. I'm going to get there. And so I run in and I see friends and there's like, Nancy's friends and family, Mike's there. Kim came up with Bridget and like, oh God, I'm probably forgetting people who are there, but I see friends, I see people I know, and I'm like, this is it. And so I run in, and they're like, go, Sarah! And Bridget's like, first triathlon! I'm like, yeah! Kim's like, you just gotta go around the track. And so I like get past them, and then all of a sudden I hear Mike say something. I don't even remember what he says. And all of a sudden I stop and I turn around and I run back up to him and I give him a kiss. And then and he's like, ugh. I turn back around and I go back. At one point I had to ask, where am I supposed to go? And everybody's like, you're going that way. And so I get onto the track and I run like the 3/4 of the way around the track like you're supposed to. And there I see this like arch in front of me. And I am like, I made it. And I was very happy. And I could not stop smiling the whole way around that track. And I got through and I was like, ah! And they gave me my medal and they gave me a massive bottle of Gatorade and they gave me a bottle of water. And I was like, I'm done. I did it. I did it.
I am so incredibly proud of you. Oh my God. The energy is just coming off of you right now. Like it's palpable. I can feel it. Like, I'm so happy.
I tell people like something that's big about our podcast is just energy. Bring the energy. And you are bringing the energy for the last hour and 6 minutes whole.
I know, I'm wicked sorry. I feel like lives aren't supposed to go this long.
I'm just so excited for you. Like you earn every minute of this recap. Like I'm just so pumped for you. It's not even funny.
This is the best. Look how far we've all come in the past year and a half now. Holy cow.
Sarah, yay.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Humongous congratulations.
Right.
Like you absolutely have earned that medal and I hope you wear it every day. Yes, forever. Yes, look at that thing.
Well, Sarah, we have a question from an online listener on YouTube. All right. So, by the way, at one point we had 4 people.
Yay!
Maybe that's 3 because you include me.
Well,
I don't know. But Patrick Lieber, you know Patrick.
Hey,
Patrick's probably watching us on the big screen. He says, question for Sarah at the end. Oh, he means at the end of this OTR Live. That's what he meant.
Oh, okay.
What's one positive thing that occurred during the event that you never saw coming based on the advice you were given? So what's one positive thing?
Patrick coming with the hard question.
Patrick, what are you doing to me? Are we talking about like from the event itself? Are we talking about the whole thing?
What is one positive thing that occurred during the event that you never saw coming?
Great question, Patrick.
Confidence.
Oh, yes. I love that.
Yeah.
You got it. You did it.
I got into that water and I didn't feel confident. And like I said, halfway through, I didn't feel confident. But I said, well, I'm halfway. There's literally no other option, which apparently there is. Apparently you can let them pull you back in, but that didn't cross my mind. In my mind, I was like, well, I'm halfway out. There's no other option. Like if I give up, I literally still have to get back there. So I might as well keep going. And I finished that swim. I still didn't feel all that confident. Like I got through it, but I was like, all right, I got through it. And then, like I said, that officer crossing the street was like, nice job, swimmer. Like you just have 2/3 more. And I was like, wow, like swimmer, like cool. All right. And then I was on that bike and I feel like that's where I gained quite a bit of confidence. Like as much as I was frustrated about the fact that I couldn't get where I wanted to be, sitting there saying like, I know I can do more than what I'm doing right now. And I'm limiting myself because I'm afraid of the rules, but I know that I can do more. And I was really surprised. I was really surprised when I was on my way back in and I a couple of like little internal realizations occurred. And I was suddenly like, this is good. Like because prior to probably being like about 2 miles out from the finish of the bike, prior to that moment, I was like, I don't know that I belong here. Like I may be doing this, but I don't know that I belong here. And then it was like just the way the sequence of events occurred that all of a sudden I'm 2 miles out from finishing this bike ride, and I'm like, I belong here. Like, this is good. And I didn't necessarily expect that, because I don't know, I don't typically just like gain confidence by running a race, or I don't know, like whatever. It's not, it's not me typically. Like, I'm typically kind of like and all of a sudden there I am, like, no, this is good. Like, I do belong here. Like, I'm where I should be right now. And I feel great about it. And, like I said, the run was kind of a struggle bus, but I know that if I put more effort into my run training, that it would be better. And if you can always make excuses, like the weather was garbage and it was hot and it was sticky and all that. But like, I know I can do better. And so that kind of, I'm glad that was the question. Like, I had a hard time with it at first, but I'm glad that was a question. Like, thank you, Patrick. Because that kind of leads me to another thing. Like, when I first crossed the finish, so many people have said, like, you've said it, Kate has said it. Well, Mike didn't really say it because he was kind of like, I'm done. But so many people have said, you're going to cross that finish line and you're immediately going to want to sign up for more. You're going to have that bug. Like, you're going to be like you're going to be in on this sport. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I am. Like, that's going to be great. And I finished, and all of a sudden, like, that question came back to me right away. And I was like, am I gonna sign up for more? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm really proud of myself. And then the more I started thinking about it, I was like, I know I can do better than I did today. And I'm damn proud of my 2 hours and 6 minutes and 36 seconds. Thank you very much.
My
I'm damn proud of it.
So proud of you.
But I know I can do better. Like, I already, like, at first, when I first crossed it, I didn't necessarily like think of these things, but as like, the minutes went on, all of a sudden I'm looking back and I was like, wow, like, I could have passed more people. I could have worried a little bit less about those rules. I don't even think I ever saw that USAT officer out on his little motorcycle. So whatever. But like, I could have passed more people. I had it in me to do it, and I just chose not to because I was afraid of the rules.
Right.
And like, I could have trained better and had a better run. I know I can train better and have a better swim. Like, I know in transition I could have had my bike on the right side of my body and like gotten on the bike smoother. Like, there's so many little things that all of a sudden I was picking out, and I was like, I can get this down under 2 hours. Like, I really think like I can find 6 minutes worth of things that I can do better. And I've not always like had that mentality, but now all of a sudden I'm like, I know I can do better than this. And so the confidence that came from the event was like totally shocking. Like, I kind of thought I'd like get through it and be like, okay, like, yeah, I got through it. Like, but no, I got through it, and I was like, I belong doing this. Like, I can do this again. And it took a few minutes. It wasn't an immediate crossing the finish and saying like, I'm doing another. Like, it took like, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But the more I started picking out all these little things that could have been different, I was like, I need to do another one. And like, fix those little things and like work on this and work on that and improve this time. But like, yeah, I need to do more of these. I belong here. Like, this is okay. I like this.
So when's the next one?
I don't know.
Give her a few, will ya?
All right, let me ask you this.
I don't know.
Is the next one going to be a sprint, an Olympic, a half? What are you thinking?
Geez.
No, the next one I'm not jumping to a half. You're crazy.
So you want to know what I did? I did a sprint again 2 weeks later.
So it's funny you say that, because TriTech Events does have another sprint this summer.
And guess who's going to be there?
Oh, is that yours? Are you doing,
doing that one? I signed up for it. I still got to figure out a babysitter, but I signed up for it.
I didn't know that was the one. That's, what is it? The Freedom?
Yes, live free or try. Do it. I'm going to get Nicole to do it too.
It's funny too, because, all right, so I finished, right? And I had these thoughts and I was like, wow, I'm confident. Like, I feel good about this. This is great. And then we're standing under the tent, and Mike asked me, he's like, "You look like you feel really good." And I was
You
like, "I
look
do
like
feel
you
really
feel
good.
good.
Like, I'm not like well, no, because you know how you can like look at somebody and be like, oh, they're
Oh, yeah.
hurting. Like, he was like, "You look like you feel good," and I was like, "I do feel good." And all of a sudden he goes, "I bet I know why you feel so good." And I was like, "I think I know too." And he's like, "Why do you think you feel good?" I was like, "Because I primed my body." Like, Kate told me to prime my body, and I did it. Like, I drank water for the last 2 days with LMNT in it, and I feel great now. And I'm looking around at all these other people, and I'm like, "You don't look that good."
Can I shamelessly plug something? I went and I got the needle on Friday or Saturday at a place called Origin Wellness, and I got the drip before the big hike, and basically that's what you did. But I went to
And you
I
feel
still
great.
feel great. They say, Erica's like, no way, it's too expensive.
Well,
And I'm
Sarah
like,
did it for like a fraction of what you paid for it. So.
I didn't pay a lot.
I actually didn't pay for it because they were samples. Sorry, Carmen. They were samples from Ragnar, New England. Like, we got an envelope of like samples of LMNT, and they've been sitting in my cabinet for the one cabinet we have in our kitchen.
I
They've been
probably have
sitting in it for
those
the
too.
past like months. So all of a sudden, I'm like ripping through the cabinets. I'm like, I've got this. I'm gonna try it.
Wonderful.
And yeah,
We'll go.
and so that
We'll
was good.
go on the computer and sign up for the next one. You already got the tri-suit. You already got the wetsuit. You have a bike. I don't know if it was.
That's not mine. That's not mine.
Just hold on to it for a few more weeks. She never used it. She bought it 2-3 years ago, and the tag was still on it. But she all of a sudden is going to need it in the next month.
Okay, so what I will say also came from this, right? Yesterday. So the race was Saturday. Today's Monday. I don't usually have Mondays off, but all of a sudden yesterday, it's like mid-afternoon, and like I said, I feel great. The chafing, that A&D ointment worked stinking wonders. I feel great. In every single way. I was tired Saturday night, but I think that's to be expected. But I feel great. And the chafing went away, and all of a sudden, Sunday, yesterday, I'm like, I want to go for a run. I haven't wanted to go for a run in some time. And all of a sudden I was like, I want to go for a run. So I left, I put my running stuff on, and I left, and I went for a run. And it wasn't the fastest run I've ever had, and that's okay. It was definitely not the slowest run I've ever had, and I felt good. Like, I felt good. And then I got back, and I was like, I need to stay on this bandwagon. Like, I need to stay motivated, because right now I'm motivated, and I don't even know what for, but I feel good, and I want to keep going. So I did kind of say to myself, like, do I sign up for that one and just keep the motivation? Like,
You do it tonight, or you do it on the next payday if you got to wait till it. But you do.
Mortgage comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but we're homeowners, we're not renters.
Yeah.
We put the money into the walls and not into someone else's hand.
I know.
So cool.
I know. When you get roots in your pipes, that's so fun.
Oh no.
That was a few years ago. We're long past that. We've got other issues.
Well, yeah. No, we got issues.
But yes, I have so much energy, and I'm so excited, and I did. I really it wasn't as soon as I crossed that finish line. I was excited to be done. I was excited to be able to say I was a triathlete and like, yee! But I wasn't like energized about doing it again. But now
Yes.
Oh, good for you, Sarah. You are awesome.
You're awesome. Just all right. When we had her on for episode 8, do you remember we were on a phone? We had the phone hooked up to the recorder. We couldn't even see Sarah, and just the changes in the past 18 months for all of us. Like, you have all this confidence being on here telling the story.
Oh my God, Kate's watching. She just said, sign up for that race.
And now we're doing this on YouTube Live. Sign up for the race.
Come a long way.
And then I can be like,
all right, anyway, carry on.
No, I'm just proud. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of this whole, I'm kind of like in awe of what we're doing, in that you're doing the triathlons and we're doing this. And like, you were there from the start, and one of our first big deals, having an interview, and look where we are today. I'm now debating, Do I just drop this as a full episode? It's been an hour and 19 minutes. This is
Should get her own episode.
this is not an OTR live.
Hashtag PodFam gets whatever they want.
So maybe we drop this.
I almost asked you at the beginning, like, if there was a time limit, because I was going to have to cut stuff out.
When I proposed this to Erica, like, let's do this. Let's drop it. Let's do it every couple weeks, and it will be an extra drop. It won't count as an episode. I said 23 to 30 minutes max.
So this is your own episode again.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm
is
so
awesome.
excited, honestly. This has been a blast just hearing in your own words with your own excitement and so many e's in there. Like, I'm just so happy to hear how everything went.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that it did go well.
Jacked up. We are
Jacked.
jacked up for you. Sign up for that triathlon because I'm there, and then we'll get Nicole to do it. And we're not a podcast, or we don't talk about like times. Like, yes, we're proud of your times and all that. But before you jumped on, Erica did say to me, "Did you look at her time?" And she goes, "Did you look at Nicole's time?" Sarah beat her. Sarah was 2 minutes faster.
Okay, Nicole. Can I tell you? I've been very torn about saying this. Nicole, I am so glad that I saw you at the beginning of the race, and I like racking our bikes and like getting everything set up, and we were sharing our nerves, and it was fantastic. But can I tell you, Nicole, and I've texted Kate this too. Nicole is so fucking strong. Like, she's so strong, and like she's such a fast runner, and like she's a rock star. So can I tell you that one of the things that happened that sort of like stemmed the confidence, and Nicole, I'm sorry. I passed Nicole on the bike, and I was coming back in, and I saw her going out, and I was like, I passed Nicole? Nicole's like goals. Nicole's goals. Where did she go? And I was like, I belong here. Like, this is okay. I'm in a spot like where I'm okay. And I didn't want to say that earlier. I'm really sorry.
No, Nicole and I are going to have a conversation about the knobby tires on her bike.
Oh.
Nicole's a badass, and I agree.
You're both badasses in your own
yes,
respects.
but I agree.
I love you both.
But I
You're
also agree.
awesome.
Nicole is goals. Like, Nicole and I are talking about training for the marathon, and she's going to coach me through it. So
Solidly. I mean, oh my God, she's such a strong runner. Like, she's unreal. Like, even in my best running, like, has never been what she can do. Like, she's so strong. And so that was what I was on the bike, and I was like, I know she beat me on the swim. So I'm okay out here.
Well,
like, I'm okay.
You know what? Maybe we got to talk to Nicole. Maybe she took a wrong turn and went down her own street. Who knows? We're going to have her on. We're going to hear about it. But my thought was, because I'm pretty confident Nicole was going to sign up for the one in Ossipee after this one. So I was like, well, let's talk to Sarah first. And then
I feel like Nicole is definitely in after her finish line. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
like
did you
100%.
see her video?
Oh my God. I saw it and felt so much joy.
I know she's on the Ironman website. She and I were chatting last night, and I was
is
like,
she gonna do? Is she gonna
I sent
jump
her the
right
list
up?
of all the Northeast Ironmans in next
He's
year.
an enabler, that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sarah. Well, we will. We'll see you in a couple of weeks in Ossipee. Then
We'll see.
because I'll be there.
Are you doing the Manchester like Cigna 5K this year?
It's a Thursday still, right? It's not the Signet
I
anymore.
did see. I don't remember what it is though, but
I know. I still call it the Signet too. I think most people do. Sorry. It's a Thursday. What time? Okay, so that'll probably depend on what time I have hockey that week.
Well, let us know. 'Cause I'm signed up already. He might sign up. It's at like 6:15 maybe. Whatever that Thursday is, the 10th, I think. So if you're there, cool.
If it's a late game, then I will probably do it. If it's a 7:00 game, I might pass.
That is fair, and I'm not gonna make you because I'm not gonna make you feel bad. So it's fine. We will catch up eventually. And yeah, Sarah, I love you so much. You're just wonderful.
This was great. Look
so
how,
much love back to you.
Look
See,
how
that's
far,
how you do it.
Look how
See?
far we've come. That's
You
how you
can
do
do
it.
it.
Wait.
He,
like this.
I was trying to show him how to do it before, and he like couldn't nail it. There you go. There you go.
Sarah, you're great. Everyone who listened on YouTube Live, thank you. And this is going to become a thing a couple times a month. And we finally
Probably not an hour and a half
no,
long.
not an hour and a half long, but this was awesome. Look how far we've all come.
Yes.
Text me when you sign up for Ossipee, and I'll see you there.
That means I have to get another day pass.
Oh, well, know what? Just get the year.
Or that.
2 triathlons a
Enabler.
year. 2
Enabler.
triathlons a year. Pay for the year pass, pretty much, I think. I don't know. I bought the
Really?
3-year one.
I'm Googling this. Anyways.
You're awesome. Sarah, thank you. Everyone, thank you for listening. That was Sarah Hallock on OTR Live.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for coming on the pod and telling us all about your first triathlon. It was so great. Thank you so much.
It was great. It was awesome. Like, what a cool, fun story. Can't believe you told us everything about the wetsuit on backwards and just the whole entire race and the confidence you have. So I can't wait to do a triathlon with you in a few weeks because she signed up for the next one. She was so pumped up. She signed up for the next triathlon. How cool is that, Adeline?
So cool.
All right. But that's our episode for today. So I will do my thing, and then you got to say those magic words that Erica always says. So
Okay.
don't forget to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out. You can find everything in our Instagram bio. Just click the link, and it will bring you to everything you need. Adeline, take us away.
Don't forget to stretch. Bye. Peace out.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Peace out.